in terms of just the strict Torian time, he's going to have a much faster Torian. But as we both know, unfortunately, he had to sacrifice a lot of time on the front end to get all these items.
Yep. And at this point, Mother Brain 3, I wouldn't consider Mother Brain 3 completely free, but you just don't see mishaps there very often. And of course, the escape, the runners have done that so many times. They're not gonna mess up there. So
right,
we're past the point of danger really for Zoast.
And I hate to keep harping on it. Of course, I don't really hate it, but I'm just saying, like, this is technically, we're seeing on display part of the design philosophy of Dash, which is, he doesn't know where charge is, but even in theory, if you did know for sure that Dash was at Croc, Croc seems like a slow check, but it probably would have ended up being faster to check Croc.
Oh, for sure.
Than what this fight ended up being. So it's like you constantly have to think about, yes, I don't have charge. Yes, I can complete the game, but how much time am I going to be really like using on this Mother Brain fight?
And to be honest, with these two runners, I mean, you want a game 3, right?
I mean, yeah, look, I never root, especially on commentary. I'm not like rooting for anyone.
No,
with that said, though, I mean, like, let's be honest, as fans of the game, it's way more exciting to see.
Let me put it a different way. This matchup deserves a game 3.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, Zoast's going to be in the escape as Azure starts his Mother Brain 1.
This Azure fight feeling like a breeze in comparison to what we just saw was Zoast.
Like, he's in absolutely no danger here. Okay? He'll even be able to do stand-up if he wants. Yep, looks like he's setting up for it.
Yep, and Zoast heading into the parlor. And while Azure is setting up his stand-up glitch. Parlor is one of those weird rooms if you have speed booster on but no high jump boot.
Absolutely.
They're all awkward, but that one in particular kind of stinks. But
looks like Zoast doesn't even notice when he goes up in that room.
But I'll let. What's the final time here?
Final time, Zoast entering the ship finishes up with an official race time of 51:09. GG's to Zoast.
Yeah,
we'll watch Azure finish up this stand-up and finish up, and then we'll take another break. But let's watch Azure finish off the Mother Brain fight. Very nice job so far. All right, now to the Hyper Beam. See how many shots he ends up taking here. Nice. It looked like maybe 4 or 5. If you really do this well, you can get it down to just like 1 shot, but that's really hard to do.
Yeah, it's tough to do that.
Yeah, I think Zenny's one of the better ones at doing that with all his, because the 2 categories he does most, the Hundo and the RBO, will both use stand-up, so he's very well versed in that.
Yeah, the stand-up stuff has actually kind of developed some new tech in the last several months, or at least this year. I've seen Zoast. I can't really explain it because I haven't messed with it much, but like there's ways to get the baby to detach from you in a different way than normal that can actually speed up the cutscene. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm sure somebody out there in chat will be able to, but it's stuff that I've only recently seen players start to do. So
Always cool when we find new strats, new tech, new things for a game that's just as old and as well worn and as just beloved as this one is.
that's true. And we're finding a lot of new ones in Hundo because we have so many people running it. But GG to Azder.
Yep, he's finishing up with a race time of 53:40. Very, very nice time for what this seed threw at him. So GG's to Azder, GG's to Zoast. And again, we're going to take a little bit of a break. Let the runners take a little bit of a break as we set up for game 3. So stay tuned, and we'll be back as soon as we're ready. All right, welcome back, and this is really exciting. There haven't been a lot of Game 3s in this randomizer tournament for Super Metroid, but we got one here against two of the best, Zoast versus azder. I'm not sure what else we can say about these two that we haven't already talked about, but this is exciting.
Yeah, I'm ready to see what happens here. We had two really fascinating races in a row. First one going to azder, second one going to Zoast. And curious to see what we have in store for this one. I'm a little biased. I think we were chatting during the break. I would really, personally love to see a gravity-only Lower North Fair, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, either that or Suitless Meridia. Although the dash really shines on the gravity-only Lower North Fair, so yeah, I'll pick that first. We can see that the Suitless Meridia pretty much in any rando seed. And we're off.
So
Okay,
last time we did... Oh, I'm sorry, Tracy, you can go ahead.
I was about to say, I want to not see bombs first item.
Yeah, I feel you.
Non-morphal item.
Last time we did not get a power bomb in the first two minor items, and so it forced both to go up. Whereas game one, we did have a power bomb, and Zoast chose to go left, and azder chose to go up. So we'll see if there's any divergence here at the beginning, and how that plays out. And I'm curious to know what the first major item is going to be other than Morpheer.
Let's just not have bombs.
Let's go with something crazy like Spring Ball.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's like we talked about Spring Ball as an early item. It's a nice early item to get.
It is. Its utility early is very impressive. It's really good for some stuff with wreck ship and a lot of places to use it. Of course, as we talked about, it starts to lose some of its utility later in the game, but it's always cool to get it early and use those strats in places that it wasn't really intended to be.
Okay. First minor item is a power bomb pack. We're good to go. Let's go. No power bomb hunt this time. I feel like that happens. Like right after one seed trolls you with, in whatever way it trolls you, the next one is gonna be like, haha, we're gonna make this easy. And we do get an E-tank, so that's also boring, but not bombs at least.
Zoast accidentally missing the first D-boost try there, so azder gaining back a second or two from what he lost from not using Moonfall.
Ooh, and the super power bomb combination. I know this is the item set that azder's most likely to go to the left here. Zoast we saw do that earlier too, so we might actually see both of them go that way. Let's see what happens. Zoast's gonna at least check the item. Azder as well. Gets a missile. We'll see if either one decides to keep... Yeah, azder's gonna keep going. Zoast gonna keep going too? Yes, he is. I like this. Also, fun fact with these side hoppers, a lot of people end up wasting a lot of missiles on them, but you can kill them with one super and one P shot. As you showed on the first one, but then switch to missiles for the second one.
That's true. The only downside, if you're someone who messes up, like I do a lot with the wave gate, is if you don't find another super pack, those are the only supers you're going to have for the wave gate part.
Yep.
And I'm pretty prone to missing some of those, so I usually try to be careful.
Nice space jump. Love that space jump.
Yeah, I find items like space jump kind of like Space and Spring in many cases where it's like clearly they're not really like they let's put it this way, they can be logic, but a lot of times even if they are, it's like there's other ways around them anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's cool when people get them because then they are able to take advantage of them in several rooms that they normally wouldn't have. So it's kind of neat to watch how people adjust their strats.
Yeah, and well, X-Ray. Azure thought about turning it down. I know it's not his favorite item to pick up, but at this early stage, he's hoping that it's useful. And it's more likely useful because you can use it with the plasma beam without the full charge beam for less damage, but it still works.
That Rio right there is, I don't know how to explain it. That Rio is very troll. It follows people up. Zoast going to check that pink minor. Azure skipped it. Zoast rewarded. Any super that you pick up, especially early game, is very valuable.
Absolutely. Yeah, and a little bit of I think Azure was picking up more ammo in the first game. A little bit less this game. I think it was. I'm trying to think. Game 2, he just ended with more items. He ended with more checks, so it's hard to say whether he was skipping more. And we get an energy tank. And Zoast, wisely realizing he doesn't have a power bomb, goes into this other Firefly room, where if you follow it all the way is a missile refill station. Knowing those Fireflies are going to pretty much nearly 100% drop power bombs.
Yeah, I wasn't paying much attention, but I think he made a good call there. Normally you don't use 2 supers to kill those, but I think he realized that if he took damage from them, he'd drop below the threshold and get and they would drop health. So it was a good heads-up play for him to do that there.
Yeah, that's a nice call, and in fact, the reason why you don't have enemies at 100% drop, non-energy, is specifically because of that health bomb.
Hey, look at Asher using that X-ray.
Using that X-ray scope. Says, I see a missile, I don't want it.
All right.
Head up. With this item set, I do expect Azure to go to the wreck ship, although one more missile pack might not have been bad for a Fantoon fight. He probably checks Gauntlet, and of course we have Bomb Chorizo on our way as well.
That's true, and this time it looks like we're probably not going to get a fight.
Yeah, Zoast already picking up more of that ammo. And we're going to run into another E-Tank.
Now, I admittedly have not seen every single race of this tournament. Number one, because I'm, at work sometimes, and then also just because I've been doing other matches and stuff. But have we had a race yet where both runners did this route at the same time?
Yeah, I do not know. I also have not. I've seen more than you have, but I have not seen any. So it's yeah. So it could have happened, but yeah, I haven't seen it.
It looks like Asher's ahead, and he is technically, but the time investment that Zoast has put out netted him an extra missile pack and 2 extra supers.
Yeah, I like
can
those.
Be very valuable.
Yeah, and the time difference right now, this is time that Zoast can make up in a lot of ways. So we'll see what happens. I like the being a little more when you don't know where your Varia suit is, in terms of the crystal flashes, and you don't know a lot of the information and where stuff is. I like the pickup of more ammo, but you don't know where that charge beam is. And Azure's just going to go straight to the wreck ship, is not going to check the gauntlet.
I don't blame them for not picking up the reserve. I actually like to pick up at least one reserve. You can get some pretty good utility out of it if you end up in a hell run situation. But at the same time, again, I understand why they wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah, and hopefully, okay, here we go. Yeah,
Looks like it was a power bomb. at mode there.
Okay, we're a little worried about this stream there on Azur's side. He's back, so we're good. Oh, still having a few issues. Okay, we may just have to live with this a little bit. Hopefully we can keep, hopefully we'll survive. Okay, yeah. Power bomb's not really going to be an issue though this time, at least not in terms of normal usage. And Azure going in with 1 missile, and 10 total. So it's kind of a low percent ice. Yeah, this is rough. This is very, very similar to a low percent ice, although of course more E-tanks, except for you'd have more actual missiles, so you wouldn't have to farm as many. But I don't think a lot of people that don't play or maybe play more casually realize the difference between 10 and 15 or 15 and 20. It is a different fight. It is a harder fight, when you have to do that extra farming. Like, I don't feel like it becomes free in terms of missiles until you get to at least 20, maybe 25.
Well, there's good and bad news. The bad news was Phantoon gave a mid first round, which didn't allow for as much collection. So he didn't get that many missiles in, which is more likely to result in a potential 3 or 4 round. But the good news is that Phantoon did drop a super.
Yep.
Actually 3 at this point. So.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
That's not good. Azure was trying to avoid a 4-round Phantoon, and then didn't get enough in the first couple rounds for the Dopplers, and ended up supering early, and now he's stuck in a enrage pattern for I think 18 seconds.
Yeah, he's gonna lose time to this, which is unfortunate, but at least he handled it really well. A lot of runners would not handle that well, and that would be the end of their run. Or maybe not the end of their run, but they'd be restarting, and that never feels good. And against a runner like Zoast, you just can't afford that.
True, but the flip side is in Dash you have starter charge, so you can just pseudo through everything.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised he didn't just do that. He handled it well otherwise, but maybe he was just hoping for extra drops. That may have been the reason why he did it that way. Because just pseudo screw, you're not gonna take damage, but you're also not gonna get anything. And he did get some drops during the enrage phase. And there's that charge beam. That's where it was game 1.
Zoast,
so both
runners
both runners gonna have charge beam this time, so that's interesting.
The unfortunate thing about that sort of Phantoon fight was, and he doesn't know that, Azure doesn't know this, but technically speaking, like, you never want that to happen, but it's more punishing if you're doing the same thing your opponent's doing. Yes. Like, it'd be one thing if they were doing 2 completely different things that had like some kind of huge swing, But right now, given the fact that they're on the same path at the current moment, it's more punishing.
Yeah, and in fact, we've talked about this in both of the other games. If Azure just follows Zoast around, he doesn't have a chance of winning. He has to create some sort of divergence.
Spring Ball.
Okay.
Oh, and look at that.
He's just going to leave. Okay, I like this play from Azure. It may bite him. We'll find out, because I think Zoast is going to full clear it. But this is Azure saying, you know what? If there's something in the wreck ship, then I'm not going to win. I'm gonna, if Zoast went up and there's something in the wreck ship, then it's just his game, and I made my best play. If there's nothing there, then I gain a huge chunk of time. The fact is, we can't even get both items anyway unless we see a speed booster. So
that's true, and both of those items are pretty slow in the grand scheme. So I like this play a lot. Oh, look at Zoast leaving too. One thing I'm curious about is I wonder if Azure had a clean Phantoon, if he would have maybe at least checked like the second item. I wonder if he's like, okay, I need to just go ahead and play it aggressive here.
Yeah, so we'll never find out what's at the attic, but yeah, Azure still gained that time by not even checking the wreck ship E-tank, and he's not going to miss that spring ball. We talked about this before. Spring ball has some really nice tech to it, but that most of the things that spring ball does for us that are going to help us more than just fun strats negated by that space jump that'll allow us to get anywhere we need to go.
The only way that it could potentially bite him in any kind of significant ways if this ends up being a suitless
Yep.
seed where it's like it expects you to have spring ball.
Yep, that can
So
happen.
it can happen from time to time. Not
Yeah,
very likely though.
the only item that's gated by spring ball is just a mama turtle item. So yeah, that could happen, but
Very unlikely.
I think the odds are low enough. I mean, not that he knows that's what he gave up, but I think the odds are low enough that he's probably okay. Just an E-tank, and he's not going to take time to pick it up, and I don't blame him. Now, X-ray still very dangerous with the space jump. When you have screw attack, it's super safe and super free, but as you're handling it well. But it's it gets dangerous because like these spikes, they do that 60 damage, and at the end of the other end of the X-ray room, if you drop your space jump, that's going to be big trouble. Goes playing a little bit safer by, he's got full health. He did a little extra farming. And now he's going to take some D-boost to do this a little bit faster.
Plasma.
Nice. So we get at least charged plasma. Zoast's going to get that item too. So far we're not going to have any advantages in terms of beam combination. Okay, now of course we're gonna head over to Kraid, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's funny you said it that way. I was literally just thinking there's only one scenario that I can think of in Rando that I've ever done where you would consider not going over there, and it was boss Rando.
Yeah.
I actually did that in some of my boss Rando matches, and I think I only had one in the playoff, but I opted to go clear some Upper Norfair stuff before I even checked. But otherwise, in these, like, you'd be crazy not to go to Kraid.
Yeah, I mean, it's not any kind of time save if you wait till later. You're not going to get a better item set. I mean, the only time save, I guess, is if you have Speed Booster. That's such a small one. We often talk about 80% old versus new, and it's that saves a little bit of time. Not old versus new. Kraid before Ridley or Ridley before Kraid. And the difference being the speed booster, but the bigger difference being the farming issues. And azder with a very nice quick kill.
He also has the perfect 7 supers there, unless you want energy, but typically like 99% of the time, any Kraid's going to drop 4, so he can fire 1 super, kill it, and then get back to full.
And azder 3 for 3 on those quick kills. Zoast missed the first one, but I can't imagine you would miss more than one in a race. Zoast checking, seeing if there was any good ammo there. Just a missile, so he just chooses not to take it.
Nice little high five there. But yeah, if I had to bet, I would bet on Zoast getting the quick kill.
And another E-tank. So this seed is possibly saying hell runs, because we have more than enough energy for them. 4 tanks, we'll put that in logic, and we have now 6. Actually, I think we have 7, because I think it's... I'm trying to remember if anybody skipped an E-tank. Oh, maybe it was a reserve that was skipped, because azder has 1 and Zoast does not. And those count towards that logic.
I'm really already fascinated imagining the possibilities of, like, what if gravity suit location was, speed booster or something.
Yeah, we were talking about wanting to get that gravity lower Norfair. I'm really sad that they're not picking up more ammo, in particular azder not picking up more ammo, because that just having enough ammo to do that is a big part of that.
Certainly makes it easier, but then again, I mean, I'm probably a little bit more on the conservative side when it comes to, like, sometimes I invest more time for safety than other players, so I can't blame anybody for not wanting to pick up more minor items.
Okay, unfortunately, we're missing what was an ice beam. We'll see it on Zoast's screen, though.
Based on his health, I gotta assume it was an energy tank, right?
No, he's got the same number of tanks that Zoast had. So it's something.
Yeah, but Aster
Might be
skipped the X-ray tank.
True. Oh, that's right. Okay. So
And
maybe
I'm basing it on like not the total number of tanks, like the actual energy that he has based on the hell run to get out.
Oh yeah. That makes sense then.
I could be wrong. We'll see.
No, I think you're right. I think it's an E-tank.
Lotto energy.
Another E-tank. Okay. Well then. This starts to become interesting because if we end up with a whole lot of E-tanks down there. Now, both these runners, good enough to do lower Norfair without barrier or gravity. We don't have near the ammo to even consider that, though.
No, and again, it can be done, but it's very, very, very rare that it would ever be worth it for time. It's not. I would not recommend it to anyone.
Yeah, but the interesting part. What do they leave in the wreck ship?
Yeah.
And does one of them take a gamble and run back there?
Yeah, probably we won't see that for a while.
No, we still have 3 items in Bubble Mountain, 2 items in Croc. I can't imagine either one of them bails on this until we've at least seen the rest of these items.
Zoast is feeling good there right now in terms of his miner distribution. Already at this point, what are we like? 15 minutes in or something? Okay, 20 minutes roughly. Having 25 supers in this particular randomizer is pretty good. So that's what you like to see.
Okay, Azure feels like he has enough energy to get through this, and he should. Maybe takes the safety save after this item. And gets an energy tank anyway. We're still getting energy tanks. All the energy tanks in the world. One of the nice things about Space Jump, that sometimes gets overlooked, is that this hell run that Zoast is doing, that Azder already did, becomes so much safer with that Space Jump.
Yeah.
This last room that he's going through, that room, it's the one that, if I die in the hell run, it's because of that room. It's not. I mean, obviously it's the last room, so it's the one you're dying in. But it's definitely because of that room. And Space Jump just makes that room, pretty trivial.
You can say that about other portions of Lower Norfair too. We should just rename it to Safe Jump.
There you go. I know enough people already call it after me. So
yeah, its theme song can be the safety dance.
There you go. And bombs. Okay. Sure. Let's have some bombs. It's really not that useful. It's going to take the power bomb, which I like. That gets him into that crystal flash level. Also, the if we don't find ice, I have enough power bombs for Metroid's level.
Yeah, bombs is here probably going to end up being more of a farming tool than anything else.
Really.
It's ironic, similar to Spring Ball in a randomizer situation, especially if you already have like multiple packs of supers. The utility of bombs is very, very good early, but loses some as you get deeper. Yeah,
I mean, bomb jumping is something that you can do and sometimes is logically required. Oftentimes you have other choices as well, but it's slow. It's definitely not the preferred choice of travel.
Plus, doing a bomb jump in like very rare situations where you're doing an infinite bomb jump while also taking heat damage, like that feels terrible.
Absolutely.
So I didn't see how long has Asher's thing been messed up. Has he made it down to wave yet, or is it still stuck?
I bet he's down to wave by now.
Oh, his thing's like a whole minute behind.
Like this is one of the most annoying rooms for hell runs. Very, very dangerous room. Of course, Zoast has lots of health right now, so. And another place where that space jump's gonna help us out, and a super pack. So
he's got the magic 30 soups. If he found gravity right here with 30 soups, that's like instantaneous. Oh my god!
Yeah, I think There you go, Kip.
Instantaneous lower North air time, baby.
Yeah, look where Azder's going. Let's go. Let's go.
Now, I feel compelled to talk about this because, like, let me put it to you this way. I'm not necessarily trying to correct people or anything, but it's just like, especially if people are not quite as experienced with speedrunning a lot of different categories of Super Metroid, I kind of want to give a little bit of context to, this whole gravity only taking half damage from heat, allowing these lower north air hell runs to happen, even with this number of energy, or this number of energy tanks. These guys do not have some of the best items that would make this faster or protect them. Like, it's going to be much more difficult to do worst room in the game, even though they have space jump, because they can't do any kind of like new route version of it with high jump boots and speed booster. They're going to have to unload supers to kill the metal pirates. They don't have screw attack to get them out of tricky situations with key hunters, especially given the fact that you only have beginning of the game physics, since you don't have the movement items. So I could go on and on. Like, yes, this is probably optimal routing wise, but it's not going to be free, and they're going to have to take some time. They're going to lose some time to do some farming and stuff like that. And on top of that, they don't have grapple. So they're missing some of the items that I typically feel much better about having to do this.
Yeah, this is by no means free. Absolutely by no means free. These two, I mean, they should be able to handle it. That charge plasma is going to help out. In fact, the Ridley fight, my guess is you probably want to try and use that charge plasma as much as you can, so you can save those supers, so you get that crystal flash after Ridley if you need it. But yeah, I mean, you're watching two of the best at this sort of thing. So I almost feel like it's like a don't try this at home.
I agree. It's really exciting, though. This right here is exactly one of the types of situations that Dash was created for, and it's exciting to watch.
Okay, and did Azure check this? Oh.
I think Azure skipped.
Yeah, I like that call on Azure's part.
And it turned out to be...
Yeah, it's a good call.
Spazer.
Now, here's the interesting part. For any of you that might be thinking that these runners are in go mode when they get out of here, we still need a way to get to Botswoon.
That's right.
We don't have a speed boost. We don't have an ice beam. So it will be interesting to see what happens. With bombs, Azure knows how to crystal flash clip. It's not one of his favorite strats. We know Zoast can do it because he did it despite having that speed booster in the last race. So this time it's going to be more relevant if we don't find ice or speed down here in Lower North Air.
Oh, microwave on the pirates. I love it.
Nice.
Oh, you know what? I just realized I made a mistake earlier. They have an ability to microwave the metal. Literally, as I'm saying it, as your stream comes back
Yeah,
up.
nice.
So that is something that will make this a little bit easier. But again, like, some of the movement stuff in here is not going to be like super comfy.
No, not at all.
I believe Aster found an energy tank at Firefly, because he still looks to me...
Three. He's got 3 out top now instead of 2. He's got 1 more than Zoast has.
Plus, he doesn't have anything in his reserve. So the only other way he'd be this deep would be if he'd have done it. So let's see how this fight goes.
And not even farming up. So he's just going to go straight to it.
I like the aggressive call. I mean, I think he knows that he's got to have a real good, aggressive match to win.
Yep.
He's playing to that. Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah, this is getting a little scary.
Yeah, this is getting a little tense here. All right. For Azder's sake, we should be hoping for an energy tank at Ridley location. However, he should be fine regardless, assuming Ridley doesn't just absolutely troll with the drops. Which, ironically, we won't get to see. It looks like he was a little bit of a troll with the drops. Okay, he does have any. Look at him. He's very relieved, and he's laughing.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I had the same reaction last night when I did one of my races, and so that'll be good for Zoast too. But Azder playing it very aggressive and was rewarded, and so now he can basically exit out of here without farming much. So this ended up being a pretty ideal circumstance for him in terms of his play style for this particular match. Looks like he is going to farm a little bit. I guess he's wanting to get enough. He wants to get one more super for a potential Crystal Flash, although I doubt he will need it. The only problem, though, is he is going to take a good bit of damage on the way out of here because he doesn't have Screw Attack, he doesn't have High Jump Boots, he doesn't have Speed Booster. It's very unlikely for him to get out without getting hit a few times by some of these Key Hunters and the Skigas. Zoast's fight, on the other hand, is going to be much faster if he elects to unload the 30 supers, and that is what I would choose to do if I were him.
Absolutely.
Or at least I would unload like a majority of them.
Yeah, 30 super Ridley is the fastest Ridley fight you can do. Just, you know, the DPS is so great. You don't see it very often in vanilla speedruns because you're always mindful of what are you doing next, and you don't want to have those supers for the next part of the run. Or in case of, say, any percent new route, you only have 10, so.
Ridley should be dead here. Very nice.
So yeah, Zoast's going to gain a little bit of time here. But now comes the interesting part. I feel like Azder has to commit to this Crystal Flash clip. He does have bombs, and that makes it easier. If he, I assume he's going to either assume that Zoast can do it, or just, you know, figure that if Zoast can do it, then I need to do it, and if Zoast can't, I gain an edge.
So he's got plenty of energy, but I do want to point out Azder's in a very scary room here. He does have plasma, which will make things a lot easier, but he's very likely to take at least a little bit of damage in here. Without High Jump Boost, this room can get super awkward.
And you know, the other item that can screw you up by not having it is Wave Beam.
I don't know
if you've seen it, that you'll see runners very low on health, and they're so used to having Wave Beam to just clear those blocks out all at once, and when that doesn't happen, it can lead to disaster.
I feel you, Tracy. Luckily for me, that usually doesn't happen because
you play low percent ice.
Yeah, like that particular category, that's something you have to do constantly. And
yeah,
so,
exactly.
Luckily for me, it's something I've thought about. Man, I wish I could explain what Zoast just did. It'd be really hard for me to explain all of it. I think it ended up being a strat that generated from his most recent world record grind in low percent ice, but that's a faster way of doing the reverse wasteland than what we used to have. He used a regular bomb to push himself up to do a power bomb in a place that he could do the new route clip. I'm using a bunch of terms here. Anyway, it was very cool what he did, and it's not something that I don't think hardly anybody did until like this year.
Okay, and we saw that Azder picked up a Powerbomb pack in Bubble Mountain, and I think that's exactly what he's looking for. It gives him extra Crystal Flash attempts on that clip. Like I said, it's a trick that he can do. It's a trick he does not like to do, and not one of his favorite, not really good at. And we already saw Zoast do it, and I can't wait to ask him about why he did it that time when he had that speed booster. And Zoast also looking for extra ammo as well. Maybe he may also be looking for extra power bombs. Also handling those Three Musketeers very well. Had to go a little bit over to the side there, maybe loses a little bit of time there. And you know, I keep harping on you know, these little time losses, but with these two runners, those matter.
They do. I think, by the way, Zoast is gearing up. I think he's going to get the just barely. It's harder to do without speed booster and high jump boots, but he almost got the little the
ball boost.
Yeah, the ball boost there.
Yeah, I love that strat.
I actually, now that I mention it, I don't know if it's possible or how fast you have to do it to get it without hydro boots and speed boosters. So it could be that I'm sitting here expecting it and it's like something that you can't even get.
Yeah, I've never looked into it that far, so yeah, it's a good question. I don't know.
Looks like Azure is heading straight to Meridia.
Yep.
I guess the first thing he's going to do is check Mama Turtle.
I wonder if he will. We'll see if he checks Mama Turtle hoping for an ice or speed, or if he just commits to the Crystal Flash clip.
I'd probably check it, but then again, I mean, everybody's different. Even if it didn't have one of the items, it's still possible for you to get like, wave beam or something like that, which could be helpful.
I think from his point of view, I think, again, we talked about this before, I think against anybody else, I think it's in his best interest to check it, and I think he does.
He did check it, and he got wave, looks like.
Okay, there you go. Against those, I could definitely see the argument for not checking it. He is going to go for, yeah, he's already getting
This is crazy,
down.
Dude.
50 is perfect, by the way, because then that's exactly what you need for the clip.
And he's going to save.
Zoast also going to, as you're famous for not saving at all, here I think it makes sense for him to save because, if you run out of power bombs, you're not farming them back, or at least it's going to be very slow because even those crabs like to drop those power bombs, and there's not that many of them.
Oh, Aster's going to check Sand
he's going to save scum the sand pit.
This is a crazy race, dude.
It really is.
Cow.
Unfortunately, even if this is ice or speed, if Zoast gets that clip as quickly as he did the last time, it's not going to help Azder.
Oh my god, you've got to be kidding me.
Oh, it's speed! Oh my god! Actually, I take it back because he's going to be able to do other things faster too. Let's see if Zoast goes and looks for this. So now...
This is so crazy,
That is okay. And I like this call here. He says, you know what? Now I don't need to Crystal Flash to clip. I'm just going to do it for my health.
This might be the game regardless, because even if Zoast wants to do it and pulls it off, there's just that speed is much that
there's a lot of time
that speed will help.
Oh
of
my
course,
God.
The flip side is Asher does have to track here back.
Yep, yes he does. That's a loss.
All right,
but he goes ahead. So Zoast is going for it. Oh my
Holy
God!
Cow, dude. This is so nuts.
This is so crazy.
For the record, just so in case anyone needs to know, that what Zoast is going for here is never in logic. Like, it's not required. It's not something you have to do. So, what's so crazy though about this is that he's about to do it, and even if he's successful, it's still going to be so hard to know what's going to happen with Asher having speed booster.
Yep. And how long is it going to take for him to get it? He got it really quick the last time.
He got it first try last time.
Yeah, he did, which was like really impressive. But every time he fails this, that's time that Azure gains. Okay,
here we go.
Oh, there's the clip. But I don't think he got it fast enough. I think Azure's just going to pass him. This is so interesting. Oh my God. I don't even know how to call this. It's like that speed booster is such an advantage, but
yeah,
Zoast is so good,
The speed booster is a huge advantage. All right, there's a few things to talk about here. Number one advantage that Asher will not get that he normally would is the Dragon fight. Like the fact that they can both do the X-ray or whatever, the microwave, so he can't like rely on getting a fast speed booster kill versus like an ammo kill or something like that. But the flip side is he can still, whoa, that's a lot of supers. He can still right here full halfy, he can still reverse halfy, and he's going to save an immense amount of time on the way to Torrent
and on
the escape. Yeah.
And actually, here's another interesting point. Zoast was 1530. He has no Zeb skip. He's going to have to ammo kill the Zebs. And I'm looking at those numbers. So he should have enough. Yeah, as long as his super count, he's going to have to refill up the ship. That super count, pretty much no matter what, because he's going to have to use power bombs for the Metroids. Both are going to have to use that. But yeah, he's going to have to use those supers. on the Zebs, and that's going to make the Mother Brain one fight a little bit tighter. It should be fine because 15-10 is what he would do on an 80% PB attempt. But
man, this is crazy. I mean, like, Zoast has played exceptionally well, but right now azder is in a very commanding lead. I mean, it looks obviously like they're right next to each other, but the amount of time that azder is going to have from here all the way to the end is very significant. Unless this is ice. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if that had been ice, that would have been
good skip on azder's part. I think that was a good call. Just leave. Just you have what you need. Just get out of here. And actually, they're both gonna have to stop at the ship because we are talking about power bomb Metroids. And as we said before, it's not just about having enough power bombs because 13's enough. It's also about you're not farming ammo.
Zoast doesn't know it. Like, I'm trying to just figure out what if there is a scenario that exists where he could technically like get back in this. The only one I can imagine off the top of my head is if he were to not go to the ship, go up to Gauntlet, and use screw and space to get through it, and then ice was up there. Mm-hmm. That would be like the only way that I could see him getting something that could pull him back.
Yep, absolutely.
But right now, it's just like it's just too much. Like, the speed booster is way too hard to overcome.
Yeah, this race, I mean, we got, I swear, we pretty much, I think, got everything we asked for from this matchup. Two excellent runners, and I don't know if we talked about this enough. I mean, we're talking about azder's been running this game for I believe at least like in the 10-year range. Zoast, so I think he's actually running it longer than Zoast. It's just that Zoast has put more dedicated time into it. Azder plays a lot of other games, not just Link to the Past, but he has a history in things like Ocarina of Time and even like Metroid Prime games. So we're talking about these guys have just been around a long time and super experienced, and just you can't say enough about them. And hopefully somebody because as we are not as we're recording live for rebroadcast, do make sure if you're not already following these guys, you should be. They're just such great watches.
Oh yeah, for sure. This race has been incredible. I mean, like, not only just this game, but like this whole match. Yeah, and again, like this race right here, this particular race, again, I've mentioned before, some people like the changes to dash, some people don't prefer it. I understand, people have their preferences, but this is exactly what I envisioned when I started coming up with some of these changes, like situations like this, and this has been really fun to watch. So I'm really happy that we got at least one gravity lower north fair in this match.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, and every moment the speed booster, azder just keeps gaining more and more time.
I wonder where Varia was. Like, since Speed ended up being in Sandpit, I wonder if Varia was like, in the intended logic, if it was like a waterway or something like that.
Oh shoot, it could have been a croc.
That's true. That's right. It might not have even mattered where Speed Booster was. That's true.
Yep. Yeah. And of course, azder, you'll watch the way he does the Metroid rooms. He knows exactly where to place them to do this very optimally.
I need to go practice this because I've never practiced that before.
Yeah, I haven't either. I just get them to the end and power bomb them, like most people do. But azder does this in a very specific way to draw those. More so in rooms 1 and 3. He does this in a very specific way to draw the Metroids over, and it's really nice. He got a power bomb drop there.
Of course, always get one when you don't need it, and you never get one when you do.
Of course. Yeah, see the way that first powerbomb leg goes ahead and draws them again, and here they are closer. Those not far behind, but that speed booster,
Yeah, and there's just, as we mentioned before, there's literally, the fact that azder has speed booster and Zoast doesn't could be overcome if there was something else Zoast had that he didn't.
Yep.
And we just don't have that here.
So the big factor here that's going to come up pretty soon. Azder's going to do his speed zep skip. Zoast is going to have to use ammo. Azder's very good at the speed zep skip, but you know this is. I mean, I know if it were me, I'd be super nervous.
Oh yeah, I hate speed zep skip.
It's a tough trick. So we're gonna have to see. Of course, no baby skips because again, no high jump for either runner.
You know, ironically, I was talking earlier about how sick Zoast's short charge skills are, and they really are like the best.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
He's insanely good at it. It's ironic that he literally cannot do it here, you know.
Okay, obviously we have to take the refill. Okay, missile the first door. Or super, I should say. Okay, now we gotta get this. We gotta get this.
That was a good
skip.
first room. There it is. That's very nicely done, under pressure in particular.
That is huge. You know, like you said, under pressure, he had to get that. That was Zoast's biggest way back in this, is if Azder would struggle with that speed zep skip, and now I just don't see it. I think this is Azder's to win. I guess the way you say is Azder's to lose, but whatever. And of course we have charge wave plasma, so it'll be a 24-shot fight. So at least from Zoast's standpoint, he doesn't have to do that humongo.
Zoast needs to be careful. Sorry to interrupt you, but he actually he has to hit all of these 12 supers.
Yeah, he does.
Okay, thank goodness.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, even though this race is pretty much a foregone conclusion at this point, the last thing you want to see is any kind of soft lock to end it in a way other than, you know, just, you know, the person winning and the other person finishing. And we are going to get some stand-up glitches here. Okay, and Azder doing a good job with the stand-up glitch. Zoast just starting his. Okay, and Azder gets to stand up. That's kind of the last scary moment because of all the soft lock potentials. But gets through it.
Zoast just demonstrated that baby detached thing I was talking about earlier. I still don't exactly know what's going on with it, but anyway, that was cool. And yeah, look how crazy close this is, but Azder is going to pull away even more, probably, I don't know, I gotta say at least 15 seconds. I would imagine 15, 20, something like that. The difference between speed booster versus not.
Yep, absolutely. And you just see the, as you're just looking kind of calm, just hoping not to see that done. Zoast looks a little stressed. One of the cool things with those webcams that we have here.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Azder should feel good in terms
Yeah,
of like.
I want to see his reaction when he finishes.
he doesn't know for sure, but like, let's put it this way: there's a decent chance, in his situation that you have speed booster and your opponent doesn't.
Yep.
But then again, I mean, who knows where Ice was? So.
Yeah, exactly. Like he didn't check that Dragon location.
And there it is. Yeah.
Oh,
He's
look
thrilled.
at him. Oh, he is so happy.
And for good reason. I mean, obviously, Zoast did a great job. And look at Zoast. Zoast did a great job. And, as bad as Zoast feels, honestly, anyone should celebrate when they beat him because he's just an incredible competitor. So he did a great job, but Azder was able to eke it out here. And that was a fantastic finish. My goodness, that was an incredible match right there. GG's to both runners. Both played really well in all three races.
I've been doing commentary and stuff, and with the Super Metroid community and randomizer and stuff, and I have to say that was the most exciting match I have ever seen. That's just that game 3. Oh my god! And we do have Azder joining us. GG's, man. That was amazing.
Hello.
Do you want to know what the difference was?
There's
The biggest difference? I mean, there were other little things. There were some things you skipped that Zoast didn't, but there was one non-skip you did in particular.
What was that?
You got a speed booster and Heat Crystal Flash Clip.
Oh yeah, of course.
That was, you went down to that sand pit and were like, okay, he's safe scumming the sand pit. Maybe he gets ice or speed or something. Because I know you can do the, we've talked about this before. I know you can do the Crystal Flash Clip. I know it's not your favorite thing to do. But it's getting that speed booster, yeah, covering, yeah.
Let me jump in real quick. I agree that was really great and was the difference at the end. But I actually personally think the play of the game that I really liked a lot was Azder. You did wreck ship first. You got the very first item.
Yep.
It was charge, and then you left.
Yep.
Thank you.
Now
that was beautiful.
Part of the reason why I think this is such a fantastic play in this scenario is because Zoast was also on the same path you are. He didn't full clear wreck ship. He never did bowling, but he went and checked the energy tank, which I think ended up being spring ball, which he got some utility out of for sure, but obviously not as much as the time investment. And I bet if you go back and look at the time investment of that one decision versus the end, I bet it was enough to make the difference.
I completely forgot about. Yeah, that's a really good point, Kip. I think you're right. And actually, we were talking about, we were wondering, we were talking about what do we want for Game 3, and Kip's like, yeah, I wanted the gravity the gravity lower Norfair. I'm like, I wouldn't mind a Sulis Meridia, but you're right. Yeah, the gravity Norfair, and that's the one.
Anyway, we've been talking the whole time. Azder, tell us a little bit about, like not only this race, but just the match in general. Your thought process, some of the decisions you made. I mean, you played, actually the thing about it is you and Zoast, if you go back and watch, both of you played very well in terms of the mic execution.
Absolutely.
It was really, really good. So just talk to us a little bit about how you felt and then some of the decisions and stuff that you made.
Most of my decisions were basically doing what I thinking about specifically what I felt like I needed to do to get an advantage, because I wasn't going to get it from movement.
Yep.
And so just little things like Like stuff like I don't know if he checked the miner coming out of Green Hill Zone and he does meme route. I don't know if he does that.
He did. You both meme routed this one.
Okay. Stuff like that, like I'm just like, okay, well I'll skip that and hope that the rest of the miners line up because I'm pretty sure he's gonna go and check that. And like, you know, maybe it's a super, but maybe there's enough on the way later. I just try to set up things so that they have a chance of advantaging me later, and I kind of play as if like a configuration that will let me win the seed is true, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
It does. Real quick, before you continue, I have to point out the irony. Y'all did not pick up the exact same items, but Zoast has 34 and you have 33. You have one less.
So close.
But you had the one that in the end like really made the difference. So I found that fascinating.
I want to say Zoast had 2 extra supers. So yeah, there's the difference.
But let's talk about the race that you ended up losing, which I actually still think, like, a lot of times in randomizers, whether you win or lose is not necessarily indicative of your performance. Like, I actually thought you played really well in the second game and made good decisions. It's just like the way that everything kind of played out, it didn't favor towards your decisions, if that makes sense. But I still think you made a lot of good decisions when you did. So tell us a little bit about that one, because I think that one was one where you ended up pathing back up to wreck ship for a significant portion of the middle or something like that.
Yeah, that scene actually made me think of you, Kip, because you were saying the other day that you were going to retire high jump plus lava dive because it never ends up being useful. It only leads to energy tanks and over and all the good items are everywhere else.
Well, I was salty as hell.
Yeah, he was very salty
when the gravity suit was there. But anyway.
Oh, I imagine. I mean, so was I. That was the last thing I wanted to see. I was hoping it was Spring Ball. That's why I was checking it.
Ah, okay. Yeah, in fact, we I mean, you had to know Zoast was going to go for the high jump plus lava dive, and even if that was in your repertoire, I feel like that still would have been the wrong play for you because you'd just be trailing him.
Yeah, for sure.
So the fact that you went back and got everything, and then all the suitless stuff showed up.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like I get high jump.
Does he gamble it? Does he just go into Meridian and hope that's the play? So
I don't know what happened to him for the rest of his seed in that, but I feel that with the time that he got, his beam.
Yeah, he had wave phaser.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, because like
long MB fight.
Because I saw that time and I was just like, well, I don't know what happened to him, but it turns out that if I had just grabbed high jump from X-ray and then just gone back down, or like I guess Plasma was in wreck ship. I can't remember.
Yeah, there had some beams in wreck ship.
But like
if you'd have done that though, you would have been in the same position he was in, where you probably wouldn't have had charge. Like the reason he slowed down so much at the end was because you had the items.
No,
from
wasn't
ship.
Charge a croc for that
charge,
one?
Though?
Oh yeah,
Charge was a croc. You already had it.
But I think you got plasma or something. You got something at wreck ship that also added to the beam damage.
I got plasma. Well, what I'm saying is that like I may have gotten charge in the end. But the big thing was the high jump, and I had enough supers for Ridley. Ridley wasn't going to be a big issue for me.
No, not at all.
It's just that when I got that high jump, I was just like, well, if I turn back now, I'm just going to be like on the same path as him.
You're still on the same path. So no, I think
so. Like,
I mean, it didn't. You didn't win. It didn't win either game 2, but I think all your decisions were the right decisions for the situation you were in.
Yeah, it was lining up so perfectly for like gravity to be in Meridia and to have all that stuff that I did extra required, and the high jump plus lava dive be useless, and maybe he ends up having a really slow or lower Norfair, and I get the advantage back there.
Do yourself a favor, by the way, and go watch his Mother Brain fight, though, because earlier in that race, I mentioned something about how a long time ago he told me he had tested some X factors on Mother Brain 2 or whatever, like for back in the day when he was like trying to figure out any percent, like could he skip space or not. And he ended up doing a bunch of X factors on Mother Brain 2, which was really fascinating. So you should check that out. You'd really like it.
Oh, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, in the race room, as Zoast had talked about, you probably read it about doing something really dumb. That's what I'm assuming that's what he referred to, because he lost a little bit of health there and almost dipped below. He ended up he didn't quite get, obviously didn't dip below the 300 that you need, but it was a little dicey there. You had to be a little careful there towards the end.
You know, I'm very, very careful to criticize players, and a lot of times my criticism is more like laughing at something that everybody would find funny, even if you did it. The only criticism I have of either player in this entire match is game 2, Zoast won, but Zoast had Speed Booster
Yeah,
and
I
Gravity,
agree.
and somehow forgot he had Speed Booster and Crystal Flash to buff me. Which
So he did it in 2 games.
yeah, he did it in 2 games, and one he wasn't even required.
Yeah, and gosh, the worst part for him was he got it first try in the one he didn't need it,
Right.
and it took like 3 or 4 tries the second one. So.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, y'all seriously, man. I mean, I know
You
you're
have to watch
right
this
now.
back.
Yeah, you're busy because you're in a ton
Like
of
you
matches, but you
should
gotta
get
watch it.
into. Oh, she probably already watched it. You should get into a voice call with Polar Bear Bunny and watch this back when it airs.
Yeah. Do you have an idea what time it's gonna air?
I wish I knew.
Okay, well,
yeah, I really wish I knew, but I'll see if I can. I'll ping Feasel and see if he can get me that information.
Yeah, real quick, because I know we're gonna have to wrap this up soon. I do want to say GG to Zoast. I mean, he really, really did have an excellent performance in all 3 races tonight. But as y'all know, somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose.
Yep.
And he also has been doing really well in the any percent tournament too. So I'm really glad that he participated in this. A lot of people say, like, oh, they know him for his speed runs, and then they don't know that he's done much rando, but he's actually very good at rando, and in particular, he's done a bunch of dash, and I think this randomizer suits him really well.
it
But
does.
yeah, it really does.
Like
but,
in like Varia Rando, I think I would have a much bigger advantage.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I think so.
But anyway, no, that's okay. I just want to say congrats to you, Azure. I was saying this, I don't want to make a bigger deal of it than it is, but honestly, this is how I feel. I assume you probably do too. Defeating Zoast at anything in Super Metroid is very difficult to do. So it's definitely something, to be happy and proud of. And also I just, Zoast should be proud too, because he played his tail off in all 3 races. So but that means that now I get to play Azure again, and
I know. I was about to ask the question.
Azure has 2-0'd me. In I've only been in 2 randomizer tournaments or whatever, and he 2-0'd me and put me out of both of them. So
well,
I feel like I've got a large mountain to climb here.
Promise me, Kip, that we're not going to see that chain damage again that we saw.
I certainly hope not,
because that was just that's not a way you want a race to be decided.
Right. But no, for real, Azure, I know you're busy with a lot of other tournaments, and you're on a hot streak. So congrats to you, man, on making the Final Four of this. I'm really looking forward to racing you again. And I think we'll have a good time.
Yeah, we'll see if I can beat you at your own game.
Literally, right?
Either way, it's going to be a good matchup, and I'm looking forward to watching it. And maybe I'll get on some comms, but at least Kip, you won't be able to join me, so I'll have to get someone else.
No, it'll have to be somebody different. I do find it cool though. One of the things I do like about facing Azure is not only just in terms of how competitive he is. I get geared up to play people that I think are like really top level players, so that excites me. But I think it's also cool that regardless of who wins, one of the players that made the championship match of the Rando League will be in the final of this tournament.
Yep. That is a very cool point.
Yeah,
and one of my really good friends is going to make the final, so that makes me happy too.
That's right.
On the other side, I think Aussie and Becky and Cross.
Yeah, Aussie's waiting on Becky and Cross, and then
Slaughters.
And then Slaughters. Yep.
Okay.
So some good names there as well. So. All right. Yep. We're going to have to wrap this up. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to Kip for joining me at the last minute. Thank you to Azure and Zoast for putting on such a great race. GG's to both of them. I can't say enough good things about both these runners. Just friends of mine, good people. If you're not watching more, you absolutely should watch them. And of course, a big thank you to our tracker, Cheaty Face. The best tracker in the business, always willing to help out and push those buttons behind the scenes. SpeedGaming for setting this up, and Feasel and all the SpeedGaming crew. And I'm going to also shout out Sinak, who saved us when we had a few issues with one of the race ROMs. So I definitely want to shout him out. He has done so much work during this whole time, and just you can't say enough about there's probably people I'm missing, but all the Speed Gaming team. This has been a blast, and I don't know what's coming up next, but stay tuned, and I'm sure there'll be something great coming up next on SG Live.